I welcome you all on behalf of Visionomics for the revision series for the Indian economic development. So today we are going to pick up Chapter 3, LPG, Liberalization, Privatisation and Globalization. Let's have an overview what kind of questions we'll be looking into. It will be your case study based questions, assertion reasoning based questions, fill-ups and MCQs. So all 1 markers. And so let's deep dive into it. Now let's start. So question number 1 of the MCQ. Which of the following refers to relaxation of the previous government restrictions? Okay, so let's see. Waiting for the answers. Yes, it's very quick. Yeah, so the answer is liberalization, relaxation of the previous government restrictions. WTO was established in the year 1995. Absolutely right. Dash means integrating the domestic economy with the world economy. Perfect. It's globalization. So globalization is basically all the world economy. They are going to have international trade among each other. Trade between 2 countries is known as, yes, it is bilateral trade. Question number 5. Dash refers to disposal of equity of public sector units in the market. So what refers to disposal of equity? Absolutely right. It's disinvestment, C option. Next one. Cheaper imported goods was one of the reason behind. Now this you have to look into. What was the reason behind the cheaper imported goods? No, not unbalanced growth. Yes, those are written C. It's absolutely right. It's low level of industrial growth. Moving to the next. Dash refers to the transfer of assets of services function from public to private ownership. What is the transfer of asset known as from public? Yes, it is privatization. Absolutely right. 8th one. Which of the following economic reforms were initiated by the government under liberalization? Okay, all the reforms. Okay, perfect. No problem. This is all of you got right. Now the next one. Outsourcing is good for India because, now why it is good? Yes, both A and B. It provides employment to large number of skilled unemployed and it also provides the excellence in a respective field. Okay, now the next one. Which of the following is not a tax reform? I'll be very clear with tax reform. See, yes, all of them are taxes. So D is the correct answer. Devaluation of rupee. So yes, devaluation is not the tax reform, rather it is your foreign exchange reform. Next one. Dash refers to transfer of ownership, management and control of public sector enterprise to the entrepreneurs in the private sector. What refers to the? Absolutely. Privatization, no problem. It's very simple to understand. Privatization refers to the ownership management to the private rather than it is in the hands of public. Okay, which of the following industries are reserved for the public sector? Is it defense or atomic or cement? Who says? No, yes, it is both A and B. Right. Both A and B. So 13th, GET, that is General Agreement on Trade and Tariff, has been established in. Yes, GET was established in 1948 with 23 member countries. Next one, RBI was set up in. When was RBI set up? Is it a tough one? Not in 71, dear. Yes, it was in 1935. So those who have written D is absolutely right. WTO is located in. Where is it located? Yes, the headquarters are in Geneva. Okay, next one. Selling of part of the equity of PSUs is called disinvestment, without any doubt. Tax reform, tax imposed on incomes of individuals are. Indirect taxes. Indirect taxes? No, not at all. Whenever the taxes are imposed on the income or wealth, they are direct taxes. Those who have written C, it's perfectly correct. Industry reserved for public sector. All of these. Which of the following is the strategy to promote globalization of the Indian economy? This you have to think and then respond. So which is the strategy to promote globalization? Is partial convertibility required? Yes, absolutely right. Those who are writing D, all of these. Yes, partial convertibility of rupee was required. Reduction in taxes were required so that the export and import becomes easy. And increase in equity limit of foreign investment was also increased to 51% so that more investment comes to our country. Perfectly right. Okay. So next one. Which of the following is not a consequence of the policy of privatization? So please focus on the term. The question says not. So I'll just read out the rest for you. Contraction of public sector. Was it not a consequence? Yes, it was. Disinvestment in public sector enterprise. Was disinvestment done? Yes. Sale of public sector and shares. Yes. Then what is not? Purchase of industrial shares of the government was not a consequence. Absolutely right, the D one. Which of the following is an example of indirect tax? This you know very well, I think so. Yes, it is goods and service tax. Why? Because any tax which is imposed on the commodities, it is indirect tax. So goods and service is imposed on a commodity or a product or a service. The WHO was founded as a successor organization to. Okay, it's General Agreement on Trade and Tariff. Yes, C. Perfect. Okay, now we have a case study based question. So I'm going to read out, and question number 1 to 4 are based on it. In July 1991, a package of economic reforms was announced which marked the beginning of process of liberalization in India. Now, liberalization involves deregulation and reduction of government controls and greater autonomy of private investment to make economy more competitive. The purpose of liberalization was to unlock the economic potential of the country by encouraging private sector and multilateral corporation to invest and expand. Now let's see what are those 4 questions which are based on this case study. Oh, they seem to be very simple. Which of the following is not a policy initiated under new economic policy? This all of you know. The chapter name itself is LPG. So yes, disinvestment was not. The three element of new economic policy were globalization, privatization, liberalization. So yes, disinvestment is the correct answer when you are saying not a policy initiated. Okay, disinvestment was included, but it was not a policy. Second one, liberalization means dash of entry and growth restrictions on the private sector. Now what this dash means? Think and then respond. Liberalization means dash of entry and growth restrictions on the private sector. Release? No. Yes, it's removal. It's removal of entry and growth. Match the following. It involves deregulation and reduction of government controls. So what it stands for? It stands, you have to match column A to column B. So it involves deregulation and reduction of government controls. Yes, it's liberalization. Absolutely right. Liberalization is a process of opening a larger part of the economy for non-government sector. Yes, it's true. Come on, these are the fill-ups. So let's do the fill-ups now. Tax reform are the principal component of dash reforms. Oh, this is very clear. It's fiscal reforms, because fiscal means any kind of revenue and expenditure policy of the government. So whenever we talk about any kind of taxes or revenue of the government or any kind of expenditure, it is related to fiscal. So yes, fiscal is the correct answer. Second one, dash implies fall in the value of the domestic currency vis-a-vis other currencies. Yes, it's devaluation. Devaluation implies basically fall in the value of domestic currency in terms of the foreign currency. Whereas, whenever there is a rise in the value of domestic currency in terms of foreign currency, it is revaluation. Dash refers to the 9 such profit-making companies which are given greater managerial control and operational autonomy. Yeah, without any doubt, it's Navratnas. So why, as King Vikramaditya has 9 gems in his court, similarly, the profit-making organizations, public PSUs, which were there in India, so they were, because they were incurring profit, so that's why they were given the operational autonomy and managerial control. That's why they were known as Navratnas. Dash implies supremacy of self-interest over social interest. It is privatization, because privatization, the private firms basically work for the profit motive. So yes, privatization implies self-interest. Outsourcing is an offshoot of dash. Oh, this is very quick. Globalization. It's offshoot of globalization. Now next one. Deficit in balance of payment arises when foreign payment for dash exceeds foreign receipts from dash. Think where, yes, yes. Yes, whenever we talk about payments, so payment we have to do for imports, and for if we are doing exports from our country, we get the money receipts. So the foreign receipts are for exports. So yes, imports will be the first fill up and export will be the second fill up. Dash measures are taken in the short run to control the fiscal deficits, correct the balance of payment and control inflation. Think and then give the answers. Yes, you hit the nail. Yes, it is stabilization measures. Yes, stabilization measures were taken. These were the short-term measures. Basically, they were just to correct the immediate impact on the economy. That is at that time the inflation rate was 16.9%. So the immediate measures were required to control inflation as well as to correct the balance of payment, because we didn't had enough money even for a fortnight. So we had to correct the balance of payment. So that's why stabilization measures for this, and structural measures are basically the long-term measures which were undertaken basically to control the international competitiveness and the efficiency of the economy. Let's see what's next. Oh, it's match the following. So you have to match the indicators in column 1 to column 2. Okay, let's say first one. Fall in the foreign exchange reserves. Let's see, what's that? From the 4 options given in column 2, choose any one. Fall in foreign exchange reserves. Take your time, keep them flowing, keep the answer coming. Yes, yes, some of you are right. Okay, so let me take up this now. So fall in foreign exchange reserves, yes, it's need for introducing a new economic policy, because that time, as I told, that foreign exchange reserves were very less. They were not even left for a fortnight for our imports. We were not left for even 15 days that we could import, and by that time the petroleum was a major component of import. So we had to pay a huge amount of money. So foreign payments need to be done. So yes, A is need for introducing new economic policy. Consumer sovereignty. Why? How did it? What is the result of privatization? Why? Because due to privatization, more and more of the firms, they came into existence. They started producing a variety of the products. So the consumer was sovereign. He had better choices to pick the products from the market. So yes, the consumer became sovereign because of the privatization. C, simplified tax regime. When we say simplified tax regime, that means that was a fiscal reform, undoubtedly. And outsourcing is a result of globalization. So yes, the answers are there. Okay, now we have the assertion and reason-based question. So the first one, the role of RBI was introduced from facilitator to regulator of financial sector under NEP. Okay, so you have to, there are 4 alternatives. So before I proceed, I just want to ensure that among the 4 alternatives, you have to choose any one. So when I'm reading the assertion, find out whether it is true or false. And when I'm reading the reason, just associate it with the assertion. If it is true, is it explaining the assertion? Okay, let's do it. I'll repeat it again. The role of RBI was reduced from facilitator to regulator of financial sector under NEP. Was it true? Is it a true statement? And if true, so reason is explaining that. Let's read the reason also. The limit of foreign investment in banks was raised to around 51% under economic reforms. Okay, I'm having answers here. This one seems to be easy for you. So most of you are saying that the assertion is false. Yes, the assertion is false, but the reason is true because the limit was raised to 51% under the reforms, the financial sector reforms, so that foreign investment comes to our country. Very good. Let's move to the next one. So assertion says, when I read the assertion, please find out whether it is true or false. Globalization in India emerged significantly as a new phenomenon post 1991. Is it true? Okay. Now see if the reason is true or not. By 1990, the share of agriculture was more than that of the share of services. Yes, it is false, but assertion is true. So yes, assertion is true, but reason is false. Perfect. Very good. Now let's move on to the next one. Let me read the assertion first. Financial sector was allowed to take decision without consulting the RBI. So think whether it is true or not. Was it done during economic reforms? Was it included in the financial sector reform? And if it included, is the reason explaining that? The role of RBI was reduced from regulator to facilitator. So here also I'm getting most of the answers as A. Right. So assertion is also true and reason is also true, and the reason is explaining the assertion because yes, RBI's role was reduced from a regulator to facilitator, and now for everything there was no need to take the permission from the RBI, and RBI used to facilitate the decisions to the branches. So no need to consult for RBI for everything. Next one. The reform policies led to the establishment of private sector bank. Did it happen? Is it true? And if true, so banks have been given permission to generate resource from India and abroad. Okay, so I'm getting most of the answers as B. That both assertion and reason are true, and reason is not the correct explanation of A. Yes, so the reform policies establishment was the private sector bank established due to that, and you can see that your ICCI and most of the private sector banks existed after that only. But the reason says banks have been given permission to generate resource from India and abroad. No, it was not that. The permission was not given, only the investment limit was increased to 51%. Okay, next one. Assertion. Globalization is defined as the loosening of government regulation in a country to allow for private sector companies to operate business transactions with fewer restrictions. Is it true? Do you think globalization means that loosening of the government regulation in the country to allow for private sector companies to operate business transaction with fewer restriction? Is it globalization or privatization or something else? Okay. And reason, it says fiscal reforms are concerned with the reforms in government, taxation and public expenditure policy. This I had explained right now, so it won't be difficult for you to find out. Yes, the reason is true. So which option is correct? It's D. Assertion is false, but reason is true. Yes, globalization is defined as the loosening of the government regulation in the country. No, it is the integrating the world economy or the transaction of trade, that is export and import among different countries. So loosening of the government regulation is liberalization. Okay. So next one. On 8th November 2016, India witnessed the latest demonetization, wherein Prime Minister Narendra Modi banned 500 rupee and 1000 rupee currency notes with immediate effect. Now the reason says, according to the government, the objective behind demonetization policy are to make India corruption free and to curb black money. So is assertion true? Yes, most of you are saying it's true, and reason is also true. So yes, both assertion and reason are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Next one. Under NEP, role of RBI shifted from that of facilitator to a regulator. Okay, it's again repeated. And now market forces decide interest rate, structure, volume, and the pattern of investment. Is it so? Yes, assertion is false because it was not from facilitator to regulator, but from regulator to facilitator. Very good, excellent. So yes, assertion is false, but reason is true. Okay, so that's it. Now I have almost done with the different types of question format which would be asked in your questions in your board examination. I hope that it is going to help you out, and we are really happy if it's going to help you out. So this is a recorded version, and if you which I'm going to upload because the live is over. After this only I'm going to upload it. In case if you want to participate live in the quiz, the links are given below. You can click on the link and be the part of the Facebook group as well as the YouTube group, and you can participate live. I'll just share that in my next series, next chapter I'm going to take is poverty, chapter 4. So you can prepare the chapter and you can also participate live. And if you want to learn more, and if you are not done with the chapter and you are from the current grade 12, you want to be a part of the bandwagon, then most welcome. The website link is given below. Just click it, find out, explore more, and just join. Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you so much.